If you've been looking for a game that gave you the same high that Animal Crossing New Horizons gave you, then this is the game for you. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, is finally here. I personally have been waiting since they announced it back in 2023, and I've been itching to play this game. I played originally Fantasy Life on the 3DS, and it is so much fun. I think it's actually one of the most unique games I've ever encountered. Fantasy Life is such a cult classic on the 3DS. It's one of those games that it has like a big fandom, but it's also kind of underrated at the same time. But it's not at the same height as like Animal Crossing, I would say, because only got one game back in 2012. Part of this review is kind of me comparing it to like, how does it hold up to Fantasy Life on the 3DS? Does it actually do things better? And the spoiler is yes. Did you pick this up? Will you actually have the same feelings you felt while you were playing it back in 2012? But before I get started, of course I have to introduce myself. My name is Delaney. I love talking about video games. I'm over here chilling in this corner of the internet. If you want to hang out over here, like and subscribe, all that. Also, thank you so much to the channel members who are supporting the channel as well. All right, so if you don't know what Fantasy Life is, I'm gonna give you the premise of Fantasy Life. So Fantasy Life at its core is like a mixture of different kinds of elements. It's a JRPG, it's a cozy life sim. It has like so many different elements to it. The basis of Fantasy Life I is you have to get a life, choose from 14 different lives. I cannot get into every single one. They're broken up into 3 classes. So there's the combat class, gathering class, and there is the crafting class. There's so many different lives to pick from. What's so interesting about this is you don't have to just pick one class. Usually that's how it works for JRPGs. You have to kind of pick a class and stick with it. But with Fantasy Life I, you kind of can pick all of them and see which one fits right for you. What I really like about it is that they have so many different varieties of classes, like classes that I've never really seen or encountered in JRPG, especially when it comes to like the tailoring class, the artist class, and it's just very interesting, especially if you decide to pick like 4 classes that meld into each other. But anyway, the story in this game is you are an assistant to a professor who's an archaeologist. You guys have found a dragon skeleton and you are investigating this small island that the dragon is leading you towards. As you get closer to this island, you are attacked. You're separated from your professor and you're whisked away to a time 1,000 years in the past. As you get acclimated to this new world you've entered, people in this realm are very adamant about having a life, which means that you have to get a job class that will give you a purpose in your life. At the same time, you're investigating this mysterious island and why you're able to go into the past and the present. Honestly, the premise of the story, it doesn't even cover everything that you encounter as you delve deeper into Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. What I love the most so far, without spoilers about the story, is that everything unfolds so naturally, but also it really keeps you on your toes. Like, I feel like when it comes to like cozy games in general, or like cozy life sim games, kind of have the same kind of gist of like how a game is supposed to work. You usually have amnesia, you land on a desert island, now you have to figure out the way of life on this island, and oh, you get a house. I think that it takes all of these like cliches that are in the genre of like a cozy gaming, and it turns it on its head at the same time. Like, it kind of like, it has a little whimsy to it. It's like it's aware of the genre that it is insinuating itself in, and that's what I really think is so good, because it is actually taking from all these different kinds of genres and meshing them together, but it also works. Like, it works so well. The storyline, I really love it. I think the characters have been so heartfelt. It's been fun learning more about each character and discovering like new areas, and that aspect of the story, I really enjoy it so much. I'm gonna get more into the gameplay and about like how the class system works, what that means as you're playing. So far, I've played about 10 hours of Fantasy Life. I've done 3 classes. So I started out as a tailor, which I did tailor as my main class in my original Fantasy Life 3DS save, and I just really enjoy it because I love making clothes and it's fun to be able to do that in a game. I also have mining as a class, and I took a combat class as well for mercenary, and I actually really enjoy enjoy all of them. So far, like when it comes to like the crafting class, you do mini games. When it comes to like each class, you have like a job tree. As you unlock different skill points, you can unlock new things that will help like progress your skill in that job class. What I really liked, especially when looking at like the tailoring job class, is like if you don't like to do the mini game and if you're getting kind of tired of doing the mini game, you can unlock a level that will help you to be able to skip the doing the mini games. And I feel like when it comes to like certain things, especially for the crafting class, you have to also make sure you are practicing your skill and leveling up your points so that you have a good skill points when it comes to like the class. Also, like I did mining, and what I think is so interesting about the mining class, and I feel like this goes with a lot of the other classes in this category of gathering, is that when you're mining and you're hitting certain points on the ore, you actually have to find a sweet spot to be able to get better points and more materials as you like mine in that area. And I think that that is such a cool mechanic, and it's actually so satisfying going into like the mining mode. Then once you get a job license for each class, you can switch between them seamlessly. So say if you are a tailor, you go to the workbench, you automatically start to do tailoring of clothes. If you do mining and you encounter ore on your journey, you walk up to the ore and it automatically switch you to that job class. If I recall, Fantasy Life did not have that initially. I think you had to kind of go back into the guild office to switch out the job class that you had. Like you pick a class and you kind of like work with that and then go back and pick another class. I don't believe it was as seamless as it is in this game. It motivates me more to unlock each class. Another thing that I think is so cool about like unlocking each class level is that there's like a little mini storyline you get to initiate at the beginning of each job class that you pick. Also, it's so cool that they give you an option to skip that if you just want to get the job class, and it's not too long of a story. It's mostly like you talking to the life master of this job class and then trying to like help with like a little mini story quest task. And I think that really helps you to understand more about what you're doing in this job class, and it doesn't seem like lifeless or meaningless, you know? It's not just thrown in for the sake of having that as like a category to pick from. But other than you picking the life classes, there is combat. I did start out as a tailor for my first job just because that's what I really wanted to do. But I do recommend also doing one of the combat job classes because that is the best way for you to be able to navigate the world, since you can't avoid combat, and it's good to at least have a high level sword to be able to fight monsters. So that so far gameplay, I just really been enjoying it, and I really enjoy like the characters that you've been encountering, which is another cool aspect. It really adds into that similar JRPG vibe of like adding a character to your party. Whatever the job class that character has, like if they're a carpenter or if they're a miner, you can send them out to like do mining tasks or carpentry tasks, and they also give you high level points. Like when you're fighting, their XP goes to you. There's a multiplayer element as well, but I haven't gotten a chance to try that out yet. There is another aspect that I really enjoy about the gameplay, which is kind of similar to Animal Crossing, and I know that it's kind of been circulating around that this is like Animal Crossing but with like Animal Crossing but it's like a JRPG. I think like low-key, like high-key, that this does terraforming better than Animal Crossing, you guys. So you don't initially unlock terraforming for a bit, but I think it's so interesting. Like I played about maybe 4 or 5 hours in before I unlocked terraforming. But as you do the main story quest, you get like basically an island. You don't get to choose the island, but you get a piece of land. You add houses to be able to have like characters move in onto the island, and it's very similar to Animal Crossing. But what I really like they kind of improve on some of the mechanics in Animal Crossing. Like if it's more streamlined, everything has a purpose. On Animal Crossing, when you get like flowers and like you get the 5-star island and you get like flowers, it's kind of nothing else you do after that. But what I like about this is like as you building your island up, there's like a flower that's specific to the island that you need to collect to be able to like do upgrades to your island and to change back certain characters to their regular form. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. But there's also like a robot that will help you build out your island. So I think that this is where terraforming is like way better than it was in Animal Crossing, because like though I do enjoy building on Animal Crossing and it's fun, sometimes the terraforming could be a little clunky when it comes to like you as a character navigating in like the cliffs and things like that. With this, you get a robot that gives you an overview of your island and it's like a gridded system where you can build with the robot, and then also you can place items and things like that. It like really takes terraforming to a whole new level. Another thing that I really like about Fantasy Life so far as well is that the world is just so expansive. Like, I honestly haven't even touched everything that there is to encounter in Fantasy Life I. So as you do the main storyline, you unlock more areas to explore, and I feel like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So you have your present island, which is where you're building your base camp at. Then you have the past, which is 1,000 years in the past, and they have different islands that you can visit as you unlock more story mode. And then they have another separate world that you can do exploration, and there's like dungeons, and it's like all of these are kind of existing at the same time as you can travel to them at will. And I think that honestly this was worth the wait, like considering Fantasy Life was delayed so many times, and I was a little worried about like if it was actually going to run well on the Switch because of the delays, and they decided to expand to other consoles. I was wondering if the Switch was just not powerful enough for all the things that it wanted to do, but it actually runs really well on the Switch. It runs amazingly on the Switch, and I know they have a Switch 2 version somewhere down the line, but I really am enjoying it so much on the Switch, and it has just been such a delight. It really is scratching that itch that I've been looking for a game since Animal Crossing, and I think that it does it well where it melds all those genres together, and it just all makes up a perfect game. Oh, I would never call a game perfect, but this one is just so much to do, and even though it's such a hefty price tag, I think you will get hundreds of hours out of this game because there's just so many little tasks and quests and things to encounter. And I also hear there's gonna be DLC out down the line. Have you guys been playing Fantasy Life? Let me know down in the comments, and I hope this helps anyone who is looking to get Fantasy Life I. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.